Honourable Christy McBain, Minister for Regional Development, Local Government, Territories, Emergency Manager, and our local members. Mayor of QPRC and friend of Mongarlowe, Kendrick Winchester. General Manager of QPRC and now our landlord, Rebecca Ryan. Craig Pettit, Richard Elliott and Nick Fry from the wonderful community bank that's helped us so much. Megan Surowski from the Olia Trust. The Batemans Bay Aboriginal Land Council, who performed the smoking ceremony. Council members, other assembled dignitaries, friends and people of Mongarlowe. Welcome to our wonderful new hall. This extraordinary hall has a number of features. I just want to mention three at this stage. First, it has a fire-resistant shell. Windows, heat-resistant glass, ember-catching mesh over the air vents, 240,000 litres of water just here at the back. And the surrounding kerosene-like layer of shrubs has been largely removed and will continue to be removed. Eventually, we hope that this will be a neighbourhood safer place, a place where people can shelter if they're inadvertently caught in the area. And all disasters, the history of all disasters shows people are caught in areas during a bushfire or other calamity. Second, our hall has air conditioning with special filtration to take out smoke. Whereas an actual bushfire goes through an area very quickly, the smoke exposure is common and prolonged. It was 70 consecutive days in the 2019-2020 Black Summer bushfires. And research has shown that that smoke, which we used to think was harmless, is actually very dangerous. It's very damaging in the long term to the heart and lungs. And the people who are especially vulnerable are the young, the elderly, those with heart and lung conditions, and unborn babies. And so this will provide a place where people can exercise, socialise, be together in times of bushfire and let their bodies recover from the smoke. And thirdly, Mongarlowe, because of its beautiful bush, Buttawong Mountains, the hills, is a communications desert. And so we have over here, I hope you'll see the wonderful slideshow in there of the construction of the building. There's a smart hub which will have internet connectivity, it does already, and will allow people, residents, to be out of that communications desert, and that'll be available for all. And the history of this building reflects the story of Mongarlowe and its residents. During the height of the Black Summer bushfires, the area was repeatedly threatened, abandoned by the outside world, and Mongarlowe beat the fires using its own initiative and the work of our local heroes, many of whom are here today. And I would like the volunteers, the firefighters, the sirens and the mozzies just to stand or raise your hands so that we can see you and acknowledge you. Please. After the fires, the opportunity came to obtain funds to repair damaged communities. Most impacted communities applied for funds to help them to treat PTSD and to slowly build back resistance. And that may be all an affected community can do, and it should be done. But whatever the benefits, it has a potential downside of increasing a sense of victimhood and reinforcing dependency on others. But there is another way for damaged communities to respond, and it's the path Mongarlowe took. It's the path of resilience and empowerment. It's the way to build, and we decided to recover by building a community hall and a bushfire refuge. The village that was left on its own to fight the fires would build its own better future. We would make our weaknesses strengths, and we would heal by building prevention for the future. Very few communities took that path, but I believe it was the right path. Minister, the spirit of Mongarlowe is the spirit of Australia. It is the spirit of mateship and concern for others. It is the spirit of innovation and defiance in adversity that made Australia and New Zealand the first places to give women a vote, that built the flying doctor service, that built the pedal radio to bring education to the rural areas and not just to the children in the cities. And here in Mongarlowe, we are by all reports the first community to try to build a hall like this as a reaction to bushfires. And we did it. And we did it. With the most extraordinary local committee, a builder, Angelo, the world's the world's best secretary, the most meticulous and honest treasurer in Michelle, David, who knows how to work government and legal and environmental concerns. Our Commonwealth public servant, Owen, and a businessman, Tim. And could you just, if you're here, do you want to be recognised? They're very shy, but they were wonderful.
Yes.
And we did it with world-beating technology. The building was designed in Singapore by someone who had grown up in Mongarlowe. The interior was constructed in Austria and shipped to Mongarlowe to be assembled by a local craftsman and local tradesman. And above all, we need to credit our builder, Peter Kraut, and his constant co-worker, Kai Thomas, who were, as I say now, amazing. I think we should recognise. But Minister, Mongarlowe could not have done this alone without the major help of the Blackfire Summer Grant from the Commonwealth Government. We could not have done it alone without our wonderful community bank, and who helped us with water tanks, the fit out of the kitchen, and then at the end we were having a disaster with the acoustics. And the bank provided an emergency grant on very short notice, impossible timing. And that enabled us to be able to hear me today, which may or may not, of course, be better. But anyway, you're a captive audience at this stage. And without the Veolia Trust and the council, who allowed us to meet impossible deadlines. And then there were many others, all the volunteers, donors, and people who gave time, effort, and support. Too many to mention, too important to forget. And at the start, when we put in a grant, these grants that went in have often 4 or 5, sometimes even 6 reference letters, letters of support. We had 50. 50 letters of support was unheard of in a grant of this time, but we did it. And could those who volunteered time, wrote letters of support, could you all raise your hands? Let's recognise it. And so, Minister, Mayor, General Manager, in summary, we present you an extraordinary building, in some ways maybe a world first, built with the spirit of Mongarlowe and built by the skills, expertise, enthusiasm and dedication of the community. And to the people of Mongarlowe, this building brings us together. Let us never allow the forces that could divide us to be stronger than the forces that bring us together. Thank you.